Welcome back to the SSL Family Dad channel. Today we're going to dig through something that I have been using for quite a while, but really only shown you guys once. I built this solar generator back on the farm. However, here at the new Woodland homestead, all of our gardening area, the wood processing area, and a lot of the area that I'd like to develop as our homestead area, places where we boil maple syrup and places where we stack and split wood and grow food and all that kind of stuff, orchards and everything, is far away from the house. So I don't have power here. I don't have any way to run power down here besides running probably 200 feet of extension cords or more, which isn't really ideal. So I use this solar generator all the time. So let's take a tour of the solar generator. All right, let's start with a tour of the main components of this thing and how it was put together and built. The solar panel that I'm using here is a Bauge RV, is a 200 watt solar panel. When I originally built this, I had a different configuration. I had two 150 watt or 275 watt panels, I think, that were linked together that folded out into a wider array. I do still have those panels. They were also Bauge RV panels, and they worked great too. This is just a little easier, and I have found that this 200 watt panel, it fits the solar generator better. It's a little easier to move around. It's not quite as tall as the other ones were, and so it just works better here. And I really have found that I don't need much more than 200 watts for what I do here. So the solar panel is mounted on basically a dolly. I'll stand this thing up right here for a moment here and just show you how it's configured, and then we'll show you how the kickstand and everything works. But this is basically a wooden dolly that was built out of 2x4s, 2x6s, some scrap MDF and plywood and things like that, and I just stained it, and a couple extra wheels that I had laying around from our old chicken tractor. This is how it stands in the upright configuration. So it has locking mechanisms here for the actual kickstand, I call it, so that piece that kicks out so we can get a good angle on this. It has a little coat hooks on the side here. Actually, these are railing mounts that I had laying around, so that's an extension cord wrap. I'm actually going to put one on the other side too, because I like to have two cords with this thing a lot. Right now I have the solar panel temporarily clamped on here. I was testing this new panel out, and it's actually in here upside down because the connectors are on the top of the panel and I need them at the bottom, so I just flipped it over. So this actually, it does have bolt mounts that actually, on the other panels that I built this with, originally they bolted right through the aluminum frame here on the panels. So there's holes like this that they bolted onto, but for now it's just clamped, and that's been working fine for what I use here. It does have a little notch at the bottom, so I can fit the double panel configuration here. I can put two panels with this and strap them to it, so I can get more power if I want. So I could get two of these 200 watts. I'd have a total of 400 watts on this thing, and it could fold out like I had the other setup, and it provided a lot more power for this thing. This is just a piece of coat rod, whatever, from a closet that I built, and so I had this extra laying around. This is basically the handle. So this is actually a little compartment here that is a storage bin for all kinds of miscellaneous things. So it has latches on each side that hold this shut, and when I'm transporting it, those can get opened up, and then this actually locks open. So in here, anything that I'm going to use for the day before I bring this out, or even a lot of times I'll leave it out here. This is fairly waterproof. It's been through some pretty big storms and not gotten water in here, but so I'll use my DeWalt charger a lot of times with this if I'm out working down here. I actually have the charger for the Magicycle electric bike that I charge off of this quite often, and so that is kept in here most of the time. Manuals for some of the solar panels that I've used. A bunch of extra connectors. So these are Y connectors that I can hook up multiple solar panels so that you can hook the positive together, or you can run these in series and get 24 volts off of them, but this is a way to do 12 volt, so you do positive to positive on one lead and negative on the other. Some extra MC4 connectors, cables, other things like that. I don't even know what these are. I've got a work light in here. This has been a super handy work light. This is actually a battery powered work light and a flashlight. It's got a flashlight in the end, and it's magnetic, and it can go on a tripod, which is cool. But this I can charge up off of the solar generator here, and I leave this in here. We can use this out and about in the yard. I got a little Bluetooth speaker in here too that you can listen to music and stuff. So this is just a great little storage area for all the little bits and pieces that I need to make this thing run, or little accessories that might come in handy. To put this thing into operation, you just loosen this latch right here. So the kickstand just comes out, and then this whole thing will lean back, and then that holds it in place. So now it's sitting at a more appropriate angle to the sun, which is very bright in the sky. So this is a pretty good configuration. Depending on the time of year, you know, you can lower it in the summertime so it can be more flat. In the wintertime, I can kick it more south facing and use it that way. And I've got little chalk blocks in front of the tires that also go in that compartment that I just stick in front of the tire so it doesn't push forward. Sometimes there's a little forward pressure, especially if I go down any lower than that, and so that'll keep it in place. So in here is the actual heart of this system. This is a Bluetti. They call it a solar generator, but basically this is a battery backup unit. It is a lithium-ion battery coupled together with a solar controller, a charge controller, solar or wind charge controller, and an inverter, a sine wave, pure sine wave inverter. So this stores power. This provides all of my inverted power and also my DC power. So I've got several USB ports on here. I've got your regular cigarette lighter or car accessory port, which I'm using right now for a cooler. So once you turn the DC and the AC on here. So one of the things that I have had trouble with this Bluetti controller, this Bluetti power supply, is the actual LCD panel does not work very well. So you can kind of, I don't know if you can see it well because it's so bright out here, but some of the numbers are kind of flaking out and I can't see the battery indicator right now. There's a battery indicator that goes on this side. So I have had some issue with this. It still works perfectly fine, but I can't always tell what exactly is supposed to be on the panel. It says right now that it's pulling in 105 watts from the solar panel, so it's charging, and then I have a cooler hooked up right now that's drawing 47 watts on the DC side, and there's nothing hooked up on the AC side, so it's not drawing any power there. So this is the opposite side of that unit, and it has the AC outlets on it. So this is 1,000 watts max. Now it will draw a spike or a surge more than that, but the 1,000 watt is continuous, so it'll run 1,000 watts continuous on there, no problem. So I find myself down here quite often, usually, especially since the weather has been nicer, but usually about a half a day to 1 day a week, I'll be down here in this area working on various things. So what do I use this thing for? Let me take you through and show you some of the cool things that I have found that I use down here often. Some of the tools and some of the other little gadgets that help make the life down here a little bit easier, and they're all powered off of the solar generator. So the nice thing about the solar panel setup is that it creates this little shaded area underneath it where I can keep this little cooler. I've had this thing for years and years and years and years and years. This little Coleman cooler is very small, but it's great to keep a couple bottles of water nice and cool. So this thing will get down to about 40 degrees and it keeps everything nice and cool in here without ice, without water, without all that mess. This thing draws about 50 watts, 50 to 60 watts to run this little cooler. Now the nice thing about this is that if in the cooler weather, you can actually flip this around, turn the plug around the opposite way, and it will actually heat up. It runs backwards and it will warm up the inside. So you can keep a lunch warm in there, you can keep other things warm throughout the day in cooler weather and enjoy something heated up instead of cooled. I also use these LED work lights. This one has a refresh rate that is not happy with my phone. These work lights are amazing to have. This one is an AC only, so the other one I had in there is a battery powered one that I can charge with this, but this actually runs right off the AC. And of course I charge my power tools. And of course I did a video on this the other day, the Magicycle electric bike. This is a fully electric powered bike. It can be pedal assist or you can just run it full electric, which is what I do. And this often will be parked right down here on nice days, and I can charge it up on the solar generator and then run off to work and back, or run up to the store, run to a quick errands, anything like that. I can take the bike and save gas. That's a free trip, just running off the sun power there. Now this is a new product that I am testing out and I will be using in some camping videos here this summer. This is a Bodega cooler, electric cooler. This has a fully digital panel on the front of it. It is Bluetooth controlled. You can actually control it from your phone 100%, so you can set the temperatures on it. This will run directly off of a solar panel. So you actually have a solar port, charging port on the back. You can plug the solar panels directly into that. I do have some MC4 connectors, which is the solar panel connectors that convert to this DC plug. So I actually can plug it directly into that, which is pretty neat. Or you can run it off of a cigarette lighter accessory plug, which is what it's running off of right now. Or you can power it in your home or right off of the solar generator off of the AC power. The cool thing about this is it is a freezer and a refrigerator. Comes with a little cutting board up here. Isn't that cool? You can make your lunch, cut up some tomatoes and other things. And this side here is a freezer. It is measuring at 25 degrees right now in the upper compartment. So I've got some popsicles in here. And then down in the bottom, this is the refrigerated section. This is a little bit bigger. These baskets, actually, the whole basket lifts right out of here. So you can clean it and things like that on both sides. It's the same. It also has a drain at the bottom for any leaks or anything like that. You can drain it out, clean it out. So this side operates as a refrigerator. You can stack all your food in there, waters or lunch meats or anything else that you need to keep for camping trips and things. This also has an optional battery compartment, so you can actually purchase a battery that this thing will run off of. So I have this sitting off in the shade, a little bit away from the solar generator, which is obviously in the middle of the sun, so that it will work a little bit more efficiently. But this thing also will draw about 60 watts and keep the freezer compartment and the refrigerated compartment nice and cold for you. So this one can actually run off of our cars. Both of our cars, a GMC and a Chevy, we have a Suburban and an Acadia. Both of them have cigarette lighter or accessory plugs right in the back. So you can put this right in the back, plug it into the port back there, and it'll run off the car. So it has a fail-safe in it that actually shuts it off if the voltage starts to drop, so it won't kill your car battery. So this is an alternative power unit for the solar generator. This one is a bit more expensive, but this is the ultimate solution. So if you want an all-inclusive unit for your solar generator that will power just about anything you can throw at it, in fact, really anything you can plug in, this is the one. This is a 2,000 watt. It actually will peak a little over that, and so I can run a planer, I can run a any kind of saws, table saws, any power tools, refrigerators, air compressors, anything you can think of, you can run off of this. So it's a great mobile work unit. This has all the same kind of inputs and outputs, so with a few extras. It has a couple extra DC outputs here. It has a Anderson connector, I believe, for different kind of outputs there. Things will take those kinds of connectors. It has the regular 12 volt port, and then all your USB ports as well as USB-C. This one actually has a light on it, which is cool. And so if you're working in the dark, it will handle that. It also has 6 outlets, and these are equivalent to a 20 amp outlet, which is nice. So you've got plenty of power. This one also charges super fast, so it'll draw quite a bit of power when it's charging. You can charge this off of solar panels, obviously, and your solar generator, or you can charge it off of a car or a portable generator or off your home outlets. So it also has a little storage compartment up here that we keep a couple different things in. We've got the solar panel connector. This is a MC4 to Anderson. Got some USB charging cables and things in here, and then this is the main plug to charge this unit. So this is the ultimate unit, especially for us down here. I can power anything with this. So for heavy power tools and bigger items, this is the way to go. So as the gardens expand and as we kind of improve this area down here on the Woodland Homestead, the solar generator will come in extremely handy for us. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the little tour of the solar generator and some of the little things that we use along with it down here on the Woodland Homestead. This would be a great solution for a completely off-the-grid place. If you're starting fresh out in the middle of nowhere, you put one of these together, maybe a few extra solar panels, get one of these all-in-one units, or even several of them. I have several different varieties, and they will power everything that you need. They're portable, the little units you can take out of that. I can take that battery unit out of that solar generator once it's charged up, and I can drive it around in the golf cart, take it anywhere and through the forest, anywhere I need to, and then bring it back here and hook it back up to the solar panels when I need it. So I will include links to everything that we talked about today, all the products, the Bausch RV solar panel, the Bluetti unit, the Ocatel power units, the bicycle, the coolers, all that stuff will be listed down below, so you can check that stuff out. Almost everything is available on Amazon. If not, I'll put links to their respective sites, so you can find those things if you're interested. Don't forget to hit thumbs up on today's video. Subscribe if it's your first time here. I'd love to have you tag along on the SSL Family Dad channel. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.